Welcome to the Bellytail Podcast. Stories that connect, inspire, and move you forward. Here, every tale brings a spark of understanding, a fresh perspective, and a little more light to the journey we're all on together.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another deep dive.
Yeah.
Today, we're talking about success.
Woo!
We're looking at the idea of success and how we define that.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking at mentor tip, definition of success by DIT,
Okay.
which is a collective perspectives
Uh.
from teens and adults with disabilities
Interesting.
and how they define success in their own words.
That's awesome.
It's actually a really interesting collection of quotes and stories.
Yeah, this is something that's really important to look at because we think about success. We think about like the big things, right? Like we buy into what society tells us about what success means.
Right.
And I think a lot of times it's a very limited view,
Mhm.
and we're going to try and kind of break that apart today.
Yeah, and look at things from a more personal lens, too.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what this source really gets at.
Right.
Is how do you personally define success?
Exactly.
Yeah, and not let other people define that for you.
Exactly.
So where do you want to start?
Well, I thought maybe we could tick things off
Right.
with one of the quotes that stood out to me.
Okay.
It said, "Success comes in cans and failure comes in can'ts."
Oh, yeah, that one was good.
And that was from a speech language pathologist who was blind.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I like how that quote, it plays with language.
I know it's a little cheesy, but I think it's powerful.
Yeah.
It reframes the whole idea of limitation.
Right.
Like, instead of focusing on what you can't do,
Yeah.
it's like, hey, let's look at what's possible.
Right.
How do we flip the script?
It's about that mindset shift, I think.
Yeah.
But it's easier said than done, right? Like,
Oh, totally.
how do you actually do that?
Like, how do you take those can'ts
Yeah.
and turn them into cans?
Mhm.
It's tough.
Yeah, it is.
So what I found helpful is
And-
reframing the challenge as like an opportunity for growth.
Ooh, I like that.
Instead of hitting a roadblock and being like, I failed. It's like, okay, what can I learn from this?
Mm-hmm.
What new skill can I develop, to
Yeah.
overcome this thing?
Yeah, to like get past it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like that's something that comes up a lot in the source too, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Is the idea that like success isn't always linear.
Totally.
It's not always a straight line.
It's messy.
Yeah.
And a lot of the folks in this source talked about,
Mm-hmm.
achieving their own unique objectives.
Yeah.
Big or small,
Yeah.
So it wasn't about like reaching some grand societal standard or like comparing yourself to other people.
Right.
It was about like, hey, what matters to me? What do I want to accomplish?
It's about setting your own goals and
Yeah.
and going for them and like
Exactly.
defining what that success looks like for yourself.
I love that.
Yeah.
One college student,
Okay.
and I love this quote.
Yeah.
He used a wheelchair and he said, "Success is a relative term."
Yeah. I like that one a lot too.
I mean, that's so true, right?
Yes, it's true.
Like success can look so different
Yeah.
for different people.
Yeah.
What might be a huge success for me
Right.
might be like a tiny step for you.
Right. Or even like what I thought was success, 5 years ago might seem small now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's not this like stagnant thing.
No, it's always evolving.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it, like a successful artist
Mm-hmm.
might measure their achievements completely differently than
Yeah.
than like a successful entrepreneur.
Right.
So it's all relative.
Yeah. And it's personal.
It is.
And I think that's the key takeaway here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of quotes in the source that I really liked.
Okay.
One student said, "Succeeding is accomplishing my dreams, however slowly I am moving toward that to some degree I am succeeding." And I think that speaks to what we were just talking about too, right?
He does.
It's like as long as you're taking steps towards
Yeah.
what you want to
They
achieve,
succeed.
you are succeeding.
And another student just simply said, "Be happy."
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day.
That's success.
Yeah.
That's what we want.
Exactly.
But I think both of those quotes highlight something that is really important.
What's that?
And that's that the journey towards success matters just as much as the destination.
Absolutely.
It's not just about reaching that final goal. It's about finding joy and fulfillment in the process
Yeah.
and celebrating those small wins along the way,
Mm-hmm.
and making sure that you're taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
That's part of it too.
Right. Your well-being.
Your well-being, exactly.
Yeah.
So when we kind of like take all of this in,
Mm-hmm.
what we're seeing here is that success is very personal.
It is.
And that defining it for yourself is really key to living a fulfilling life.
I couldn't agree more.
You're not bound by
Yeah.
the pressures or the expectations of other people.
Right.
It's about creating a path that aligns with your values and your aspirations.
I love that.
So I'm going to leave our listeners with one final thought here.
Okay.
If you could achieve anything you set your mind to, what would your definition of success look like?
Yeah, what would it look like?
Think about that. What would that be?
I like that.
We'll see you next time for another deep dive.
Awesome. Bye, everyone.
Bye.